It is Saturday, the 8th of March, 2025. Thank you so much for joining us on the Camnet News TV desk. Let's take a look at the headlines. HH calls for collective action to combat gender-based violence and promote women's leadership. Strengthen evidence gathering before arrests, says PRISCA. Eco-pay policy gateway to fairness, says FFTUZ. In international women rally for equality in Lagos on International Women's Day. In sports, ETO'O wins appeal and can run for CAF Executive Committee. Join us for these and many more stories after the break.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, midday news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In forgotten stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and living healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
To present Camnet TV main news in detail, I'm Tapelo Joe Smata. Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has urged the church, civil society and key stakeholders, including the non-governmental Organization Coordinating Council, NGOCC, to collaborate with the government in addressing violence against women and girls across the country. Speaking at the International Women's Day commemoration in Kasama, held under the theme, For All Women and Girls, Right, Equality, Empowerment, the President emphasized the urgent need to end gender-based violence and advance women's leadership. He also highlighted the ongoing efforts to amend constitutional provisions to boost female participation in elective offices before the 2026 general elections. Reaffirming the government's commitment to women's empowerment, he outlined measures such as appointing more women to leadership positions and expanding access to education through the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. The head of state also underscored the importance of fostering a culture of respect for women, urging the men to honor their wives and teach their sons to respect their sisters.
It indicates something else. Violence against women will not be tolerated by this government. The church must work with us here. Civil society must work with us. NGOCCs and others must work with us. Violence against women has no place in our society anymore. And we have reinforced the laws around this issue to mitigate around this issue. What else? Madam Chair, NGOCC, I'm glad you've acknowledged that. Last year, in fact, it's Madam Mutari, I think. Last year, it's both of you. Last year, we promised that all women who have children, and they are in correctional services, we will take them out of those ordinary correctional services and put them in decent homes so that we don't detain the children by default. I am pleased to say to the nation that we have been able to deliver on this aspect. Now we have decent homes where women with children but are supposed to serve sentences in correctional services are now raising these children in decent homes, yet serving their sentences. Tremendous. I think the test of the pudding is in the eating. We will do more. We celebrate, as I conclude, we celebrate our women. Resilient species of humanity. Strong women. I know women are strong. I know this from my own wife. And I know you know it from your own wives, your daughters, your sisters, that women are strong. We celebrate your strength. We celebrate your responsibility in the homes. And we thank you for that. We will continue doing that. We want to reaffirm our commitment to fostering a society where females, the girl child, are promoted in terms of their opportunities to succeed in life, including owning land, including accessing finance. This is a bare minimum that our government will focus on, and will do that together with their male counterparts and the boy child.
The opposition Revamp for Development Change, RDC, has called on Republican President Hakainde Hichilema to direct law enforcement agencies to investigate individuals within the government suspected of engaging in corrupt practices. In an interview with Camnet News, RDC President Robert Chansa dismissed President Hichilema's assertion that his administration's anti-corruption efforts are yielding positive results, as stated during his recent address to Parliament on the application of national values and principles. Mr. Chansa argued that public confidence in law enforcement agencies has diminished as the anti-corruption fight appears to be selectively targeting opposition leaders, while government officials implicated in wrongdoing face no consequences. He also expressed concern over the country's escalating cost of living, stating that many citizens are struggling to make ends meet due to the widening gap between salaries and the cost of essential goods and services.
We also listened when our Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, addressed Parliament. He also emphasized that the corruption fight is yielding results, and we are vesting out of that fight. But to us, opposition, we are not seeing those results, because if we are to do well in fighting corruption, even the current people, the current government office bearers who are being investigated, who have been mentioned to be participating in corruption, we want them that they should be brought to book. They should be exposed to the nation, so that the nation should have that assurance that really the government mean well in fighting corruption. We have seen that a lot of serving ministers are being shot when in the reports which was handed to the president, they have been shot. They have not been even suspended. So how do we get to know really if the corruption fight is yielding results? We have seen in which justice to other people who served from the past government is being served in time. We also demand that even the current ministers, the current public office bearers who are serving now, we demand that justice to be served in time, so that the Zambian people, they should get that assurance that really the UPND government is really fighting corruption.
Economist Kelvin Chisanga has urged government to implement policies that promote local processing of minerals, including incentives for industries investing in value addition. In an interview with Camnet News, Kelvin Chisanga noted that such measures would create a conducive environment for industrial growth and attract both local and foreign investment. He emphasized the need for Zambia to enhance value addition in the mining sector to strengthen foreign exchange earnings. Mr. Chisanga noted that the country has long relied on exporting raw materials, a practice he describes as unsustainable for long-term economic growth. He further highlighted Zambia's capacity to develop expertise in processing raw materials in finished products, which would not only drive industrialization but also create employment opportunities and boost the country's gross domestic product, GDP.
Considering the calls that are from different and various stakeholders in regards to the value addition, which should be able to be fostered within the mining sector, I think that is the right call, because considering where we are coming from and how we should be able to progress with the sectorial performance of this industry, particularly mining sector in essence, we need to look at a way in which we can actually moderate a lot of effect that should be able to work out with the progressive and futuristic model. We are coming from a position where we have mined a number of mineral assets for a longest period of time, and we have not been able to activate into vertical processing or vertical value processing where we should be able to see value addition. I think it's a high time we should be able to look at that, because we'll be able to create a number of key significant effects. One of the key important here is that we activate a very good appetite with the job creation from that basis, and that as of now we are basically also looking forward to see how we can broaden the basket in terms of trying to work around export wallet. For a longest period of time, we've actually been exporting raw materials of mining products and not given a good shape as far as we are concerned. So, you know, activating the cause and also looking at policy directives that should be able to help gravitate a good development around the mining sector in regards to value addition. I think that sits in very well. It also poses a very significant factor for us to work around forex market and the overall aggregate demand in the economy, and that will be able now to sit in very well even when it comes to pulling up the other complementary sectors of the economy. So if we have to basically look at that, and also even
the National Union of Public and Private Educators of Zambia, NUPEZ, has urged the government to strengthen policies that protect women in the education sector from harassment, discrimination, and unfair labor practices. NUPEZ General Secretary Charity Kampamba highlighted the persistent challenges faced by women and girls, including barriers to education, workplace discrimination, unequal pay, and gender-based violence. She noted that these issues continue to hinder progress and highlight opportunities for men and women, particularly those in the education sector. Ms. Kampamba further called on the government to invest in skills development and mentorship programs for women in education to support their professional growth and empowerment. She has since reaffirmed the union's commitment to advancing the rights and development of women in the education sector, recognizing their resilience in breaking barriers despite ongoing challenges. The Media Liaison Committee has opposed the government's plans to regulate the media in Zambia, emphasizing the need for self-regulation instead. This comes in response to recent remarks by Minister of Information and Media, Cornelius Moetwa, indicating that the government's intention is to introduce media regulation. Now, speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Media Liaison Committee Vice Chairperson Felicitas Chipako stressed that self-regulation is essential to safeguarding media freedom and ensuring journalists are not restricted in their reporting. However, she acknowledged concerns over rising unprofessionalism within the media industry, particularly within the growth of social media, which she says may have prompted the government's proposed intervention. Chipako further added that the Media Liaison Committee already has a bill to take to Parliament advocating for self-regulation under a statutory instrument. She has since urged media practitioners to uphold ethical standards in their work to promote professionalism and maintain public trust in the industry.
In terms of the fears or the concerns that government should regulate the media, that shouldn't be the case, of course. And I speak as the Media Liaison Committee representative. I'm the vice chairperson. Basically, we as MLC have a bill that is supposed to go to Parliament regarding media self-regulation, but statutory. So we have been working on this bill, I think, for about the last 4 years, and we've been pushing for this bill to get into Parliament so that the media is able to regulate themselves and not be regulated by government. So you cannot have a government regulating the media. The media should take up that challenge. and work towards ensuring that there's professionalism and ethics in our scenario. In any country where the fourth estate, and I think we sort of tend to underestimate ourselves. It's so sad, especially the media in Zambia. We're allowing every Tom, Dick, and Harriet, and especially with the onset of online media or so-called social media. Social media is just a platform. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are the ones that are so authentic or that you can post anything online or say anything or insult. You see, when we talk about, and I think mainly the issue is due to what is happening on social media, where there's just so much craziness. Anybody can say anything. Anyone can start a talk show. Anyone can start a TV program. No, that shouldn't be the case. Regardless of the fact that there are these platforms, it's very important that there's professionalism and ethics. There must be ethical behavior in whatever.
The Federation of Free Trade Unions, FFTUZ, has held Cabinet's approval of an equal pay policy for public sector workers, describing it as long overdue. FFTUZ General Secretary Nelson Mwale states that implementing equal pay will help establish fairness within the public service. He notes that for years, government parastatals have paid employees with the same qualifications at different wages, leading to worker demotivation. Mwale also called on the Emoluments Commission to operate within its mandate and avoid interfering with the role of trade unions in advocating for workers' rights.
And it brings the equality and equity among the public service workers. You realize that even the coming in of the Emoluments Commission, when the Emoluments Commission Act number 1 of 2022 was promulgated, one of the reasons was that there was no balance in the manner in which people of the same qualification are getting paid. Okay, you realize that a degree holder at SICTA would get far much more than a degree holder in the men's public service. Okay, and yet SICTA is a government organization. So with this pronouncement and this agreement by cabinet ministers, I think it's a plus towards striking a balance and motivation for those that felt unfairly treated. But we want to take this opportunity and call upon the Emoluments Commission to stick to their lane and not appear as though they are usurping the powers of the labor movement in the free bargaining process. We've seen issues where unions struggling parastatals have failed to conclude the negotiations because possibly the Emoluments Commission have not given parameters. Okay, so we want to take this opportunity to appeal to government that we are comfortable for as long as we don't see a repeat of what has been happening through the Emoluments Commission, where we feel we cannot bargain free because of decisions that have been made.
The Governance, Elections, Advocacy Research Services GEARS initiative says there is no political bias in the distribution of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. GEARS Executive Director Patrick Kaumba stated that the organization has observed leaders encouraging citizens to form clubs and associations to access the funds. He says while this raises concerns about fairness and transparency, there is no concrete evidence suggesting that certain individuals or groups are receiving preferential treatment. Kaumba underscored the importance of CDF as a vital resource for local development projects, stressing that its allocation and utilization be transparent, accountable, and equitable. He further highlighted that members of parliament, regardless of political affiliation, bear the responsibility of implementing projects effectively in their constituencies.
Maybe a lot of people from the ruling party are benefiting more than the other people. But again, I think we have seen the national leaders, for example, urge all the citizens to form clubs, to form associations, to go for whatever. Those calls have been made. Unless we have tangible evidence of people who say maybe only these groups are favored, the others are not favored, probably that may not be properly justifiable. However, we make a clarion call on all citizens that the CDF funds are public funds. We need to participate. So we should be very, very curious to monitor how it is being utilized, who is benefiting, and so forth and so on. What are the issues in terms of what are the progress that is being recorded here and there. There's also an element where people we are getting that it would appear that the MPs from the ruling party seem to be implementing projects slightly more in the constituencies and slightly more effectively as compared to the MPs from the ruling opposition parties and so on. So meaning that they are denying the citizens the service that they deserve, the benefits that they deserve, if for the sake that if people feel that if that is being done in the maybe opposition constituencies, it will look like they are supporting the current government. But I think CDF is not supposed to be politicized in that way. Those are funds that all citizens must access and must benefit. So it does not make anybody.
The Prisons Care and Counseling Association, PRISCA, has called on law enforcement agencies to ensure thorough evidence collection before making arrests, emphasizing the need to prevent individuals from spending months or years in prison, only to be discharged through nolle prosequi. In an interview, PRISCA Executive Director Dr. Godfrey Malembeka revealed that more than 1,500 incarcerated individuals are currently on bail for bailable offences but remain in custody due to their inability to meet bail conditions. Dr. Malembeka has urged the government to expedite efforts to explore alternative dispute resolution mechanisms as a means of reducing unnecessary detentions.
Don't support that. The current president issued those orders. Even when he was addressing Parliament on Friday, he again reminded law enforcement agencies, first of all, to investigate enough before they arrest people. We do not want people spending years or months or weeks, let alone someone is discharged through nolle prosequi. That's serving an indirect sentence. Today, another issue I want to talk about, today we have more than 1,500 incarcerated people on bail. They are facing bailable offences, but they have failed to meet the bail conditions. You can imagine. And that 1,500 is adding to the 28,600 incarcerated people today. In that 28,600, we have 5,900 innocent people until proven guilty. These are persons awaiting trial. So we need the government to pursue and speed up the exploring of alternative dispute resolution, the ADRs. Those are the initiatives that we need to embark on. So we do that. And my appeal to all our law enforcement agencies, please follow what the president is asking you to do. Arrest people after you've gathered enough evidence. Yes.
Care for Nature Zambia has urged the government to draw lessons from the recent floods and infrastructure damages caused by excessive water, emphasizing the urgent need for climate-resilient development. Speaking to Camnet News, the organization's executive director, Sama Kings, stressed the importance of avoiding construction near river bodies as these areas are highly susceptible to flooding. She highlighted the crucial role of preserving natural vegetation along river banks, which helps mitigate flooding and prevent soil erosion. Ms. Nsama further advocated for a shift in development practices, calling for tree planting and vegetation conservation to be integrated into infrastructure planning. She underscored that prioritizing environmental sustainability will yield long-term benefits for Zambia's infrastructure, agriculture, and overall well-being.
We are currently facing an issue of flash floods related to climate change. We have seen in the recent past places like Lusaka, most of the townships getting flooded, and this is also happening in southern parts of the country, including northern, where we usually receive a lot of rainfall. As a country, I think we can draw lessons from the buildings that are collapsing as a result of too much water to invest in climate resilient infrastructure. And also it is very important for people not to build near water bodies, because for those who live near rivers and near lakes, they have high vulnerability to flooding, and so it is very important that the river banks are not disturbed. The natural vegetation which is along the river banks also helps to control flooding. So it is important that to help control the floods, we also invest in trees, making sure that even along the roadside we have some trees, we have vegetation which will also help to keep the roads in a good state. Otherwise, if we don't have vegetation to help with the flooding, that's why you're seeing even the roads are eroding because of too much water. I think this is also very important with the agriculture sector, because the more we have trees and vegetation, it helps to control soil erosion. So our appeal is that people should be getting plans before they come up with any structure or infrastructure development, because building near water bodies is a high risk, and it shouldn't continue going forward.
Energy expert Boniface Zulu has stated that it is feasible to clear outstanding debts using intermediate energy sources, particularly solar and wind. This follows President Hakainde Hichilema's statement on expanding solar power generation as a strategy to address ZESCO's internal debt. Zulu emphasized that while this approach is viable, the implementation of cost-reflective tariffs is essential. He explained that tariffs play a crucial role in shaping the energy sector by setting the agenda, determining return on investment (ROI), and influencing overall financial gains. He further noted that achieving a balance between ROI, energy generation, distribution, and transmission will be crucial in determining the true cost of electricity in the country. Zulu further stressed that this goal can only be realized if the Energy Regulation Board, ERB, enforces cost-reflective tariffs.
It's feasible to clear the debt with intermediate energy sources. Of course, I mean solar and wind. But then the big elephant in the room is, of course, cost-reflective tariffs, because the tariff is what sets the agenda, it's what sets the ROI, return on investment, and how much we are going to get from there. So balancing, setting a balance between the return on investment and energy generation and distribution and transmission is going to be very cardinal for the success of solar, offsetting the cost of electricity in the country. But that can only be achieved if ERB sets into motion cost-reflective tariffs.
We now go to Western Province in Sioma District, where the Commissioner, Mike Kamutumwa, has commended the Zambian government for its commitment in advancing women's rights under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. He highlighted the significant progress made in promoting gender equality, particularly through increased funding for free education, which has enabled more girls to remain in school. Speaking at the official Women's Day celebrations in Sioma District, Kamutumwa emphasized the government's strengthened efforts to combat gender-based violence, GBV. He noted that enhanced support for survivors and expedited legal proceedings have reinforced the message that no woman should live in fear or suffer in silence. Reflecting on this year's Women's Day theme, he underscored the need for transformative action to empower women and girls, recognizing them as essential drivers of social, economic, and political change. Kamuta further called on Sioma residents to actively support and commit to initiatives that promote gender equality and women's empowerment in their communities. Musia Wakabila now reports.
Some youths in Mungu district are appealing to the Republican President Hakainde Hichilema to address the issue of high number of unemployment and the lack of industry in Western Province. President Hakainde Hichilema is expected to address this year Youth Day, which falls on 12th March annually.
Abadachwana wa president bakuli badonera badokora kutema factories yakuli abantu bana bahabona na mayusi kuli bakole kufumana misevezi iske kwa bahuni buchangi kuli buchangi kuro ngata ho wana haya batu bakula yangu batu baswe bashwa
dasi lukasibira luna kola mbula kuli mayusi wala basekula ondala ondafera barada kweza luli kambe batema tifata baitwa lokwe bapanga tu industry at least bakumafa kuipiriseza
we expect kuye na kuli lukupa empowerment neluna luzwele pirisina kumukuzelwa kwanu kuluna neva industry aluna mi industry nekuzwa mamoya. It has to come from the locals. Abalweza empower lwapanga ma industry sina babamu power hulu kwa teni luna kabukuswani lupanga ngailia kwani we have no funding hauna za kuitu sisa demand 10.
Western Province Permanent Secretary Momo Akapela has confirmed the moment during the press briefing held at provincial administration, stating that the president will be in Mungu for 2 days.
So, if you have not heard it before, I'm officially announcing that President Hakainde Hichilema will be in Mungu on the 12th of March 2025 to officially celebrate the National Youth Day here in Mungu. Agreed to spend 2 days in the province. We will attend to Youth Day issues at the Center of Mungu Boma and at the Mungu Sports Stadium.
Mr. Momo further called on the people in Mungu to turn in numbers to welcome the president.
You are asked to come in big numbers to show the president the appreciation we have for his type of government. He will be celebrating national days in various parts of the country so that he can encourage and foster inclusivity and unity. In this regard, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema has decided that this year, the national celebration of the Youth Day will be held here.
Musia Wakabila, Camnet News in Mungu District, Western Province.
Musia Wakabila with that particular report that takes us to our first set of commercials. But do join us for international and sports news. When we come back, do stay tuned.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
For Camnet TV, Facebook and YouTube, Sunday is a very special day of the week, and it's a great time to find solace in prayer. Find fresh hope, spiritual growth, worship, fellowship, and encouragement. Whether you live next to us or halfway across Zambia, we would love to have your presence this Sunday, 9th March 2025, as well as worship together under the power of God at the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill, Kabulonga. preacher, Bishop and Reverend Simon Banda of Dunamis Ministries. Time 09 hours to 12 hours. You are all welcome.
Who am I that you say?
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our Zesco units. Savenda Electric introduces a new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda Electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbanda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Are you looking for an efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +20 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Welcome back and thank you so much for still joining us on the Camnet TV News Desk. Now in international news. Thousands of women in Nigeria gathered in Lagos on Friday to celebrate International Women's Day with joy and solidarity. Dressed in shades of purple, they danced and carried banners honoring the achievements of women across various sectors. This year's campaign theme, Accelerate Action, coincides with the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, a pivotal global framework advocating for women's rights. Beyond the celebrations, the event also served as a moment for reflection. Social worker Fabayo Temilolwa highlighted the challenges women face in Nigerian politics, noting that society often marginalizes their voices. Women need to be more intentional, get more informed, and be more active in politics, she emphasized. International Women's Day was officially recognized by the United Nations in 1977, but its origins trace back to early 20th century labor movements advocating for women's rights and equality. Here's a roundup of international news.
In the heart of Paris, on the iconic street of Saint-Honoré, a private mansion opens its doors to women of valor. For the first time in France, this event celebrates the inspiring journeys of African women.
So I decided to come and support a sister and also be part of great women who are going to share their stories.
Women of Valor provides a space of support where women find the tools to build their future and thrive.
Welcome to Women of Valor, Paris 2025. May this evening be special and inspire all of us.
As women, we know that we need to be there for each other. We need to support each other and also know that we are not in competition with men, but together we will make the men to understand that what we are asking for is simple. We just want equal opportunities, we want parity. And so that is why I created this.
On stage, inspiring women share their stories of challenges and triumphs. Among them was Mami, from a single mother to an influential businesswoman. She has turned obstacles into opportunities.
You need to dream big.
And even when you try and you fail, failure is not the end. It's just part of your success. And so as a young girl, a young guy growing up, think of success as what makes you happy and what makes you fulfilled and how you impact other people as a person.
Powerful and emotional moments, the journeys of these women has left a lasting impression for many people.
Well, as a man, I think the power of women has really inspired me.
That I should be courageous to do everything that I want to do.
Inspirational journeys, stories of resilience and incredible energy here at Women of Valor. On the occasion of International Women's Day, this event highlighted those who dare, who lead and who inspire. A strong message to remind us that every woman has the power to change the world.
Chaque femme a le pouvoir de faire bouger les lignes. Edouja Manissa pour Africa News.
On Friday, thousands of Nigerian women gathered in Lagos to mark International Women's Day, celebrating their achievements and standing together for progress. The theme of this year's campaign, Accelerate Action, aligns with the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Declaration, Platform for Action, landmark global framework for women's rights.
Women need to be more intentional in getting involved, especially when it comes to politics, because the society tends to shut down women, reduces their voices. So women need to be more intentional, get more involved, be more active in politics.
Women need to, most especially, not shy away from so many things that they see as obstacles. And we shouldn't show vulnerability, and we should try as much as possible to position ourselves in good light.
The day wasn't just a celebration, but also a moment for reflection and highlighting the importance of women becoming more active in the political landscape.
When you go into an office and you see men and you begin to think that because they are men, they will treat you as a woman, then you have an issue as a woman. But when you walk into that office and you know that you are a human being, and you see other men like human beings, and no matter what they say, you don't allow the gender thing comes in, you will be treated well. Most of our problems actually comes from us. I know that we are being victimized by the men, but I know that a woman with a sound mindset will do more, work more, and relate better with men.
Today, International Women's Day serves as both a reminder of how far women have come and a call to action for the future. Here in Kabare, Mpox patients are being provided medicine as the area grapples with an outbreak of the disease. Despite the challenges posed by the war in eastern Congo, medical staff continue their crucial work helping patients get better. We suffer because of the war. The medicine isn't always available. I feel better because I have some medicine. The care I've received has helped, but the care needs to be improved. When the war started, I was in good health, but then my health problems started with malaria, and after malaria, I had symptoms of Mpox 3 days. Mpox primarily spreads through close skin-to-skin contact and often leaves visible skin lesions. When I arrived at the health centre with my daughter, her temperature was 39.5 degrees Celsius and she was given tablets. When the nurses injected the medicine, my daughter fainted. I praised the Lord because she wasn't like that before. Patients continue to arrive, so we continue to report. But the health zone, which used to have 4 treatment centres now, because of the war, has only 2 Mpox treatment centres in Luiru, and the referral general hospital is in Miti. The DRC has carried the brunt of the Mpox epidemic. In response, a large-scale vaccination campaign began last Thursday in Kinshasa with the target of vaccinating over 600,000 people.
And finally, in sports news this evening, football legend Samuel Eto'o has won a Major League victory, overturning a ban that blocked his bid for a position on Africa's football governing body, CAF. The Court of Arbitration for Sport ruled in Eto'o's favor after he appealed CAF's decision to exclude him from its executive committee. The 43-year-old has been president of the Cameroon Football Federation since 2021, following a stellar career with top clubs like Barcelona, Inter Milan and Chelsea. However, his leadership has been controversial. In September, FIFA banned him for 6 months over misconduct, and CAF fined him $200,000 last year for violating ethics by promoting a betting company. Eto'o's legal team successfully appealed the fine in February. The CAF General Assembly will evaluate candidates on March 12th, giving Eto'o a new chance to shape the future of African football.
Football legend Samuel Eto'o has won a major legal victory, overturning a ban that blocked his bid for a position on Africa's football governing body, CAF. The Court of Arbitration for Sport ruled in Eto'o's favour after he appealed CAF's decision to exclude him from its executive committee. The 43-year-old has been president of the Cameroon Football Federation since 2021, following a stellar career with top clubs like Barcelona, Inter Milan and Chelsea. However, his leadership has been controversial. In September, FIFA banned him for 6 months over misconduct, and CAF fined him $200,000 last year, violating ethics by promoting a better company. Eto'o's legal team successfully appealed the fine in February. The CAF General Assembly will evaluate candidates on March the 12th, giving Eto'o a new chance to shape the future of African football.
And that sporting item brings us to the end of this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But before we go, a quick recap of stories that made headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema calls for collective action to combat gender-based violence and promote women's leadership. Strengthen evidence gathering before arrest, says PRISCA. Eco-pay policy gateway to fairness, FFTUZ. And in international news, women rally for equality in Lagos on International Women's Day. In sports, Eto'o wins appeal and can run for CAF Executive Committee. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 10. It reads, "Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might, for there is no work, no device, for knowledge, no wisdom, in the grave whither thou goest." We end the reading and we end the main news. But dear viewer, like always, do remember that Camnet TV is not just another panel. Now, on behalf of the entire production team, I'm Tapelo Joe Smata. Good evening and God bless.
For Camnet TV, Facebook and YouTube, Sunday is a very special day of the week, and it's a great time to find solace in prayer. Find spiritual growth, worship, fellowship, and encouragement. Whether you live next door to us or halfway across Zambia, we would love to have your presence this Sunday, as well as worship under the power of God at the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill, Kabulonga. Preacher, Bishop and